little dab of, like, they sprinkle on some Beauty and the Beast Stockholm Syndrome stuff.
Okay.
Which doesn't make sense unless you watch the first movie and its sequel, which is Glass. Hi everyone, welcome to the Fandom Focus Podcast, episode 3. It's episode 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's episode 3. Sweet.
So, hello. And yeah, welcome back, guys. Today we have a lot of things planned because when you are watching this, we are going to be in theaters. And I'm just going to give you 10 seconds to guess why we will be in theaters. So, 10, 9, 8, I can't count. We're going to be watching the FNAF movie.
And for those of you
Inside
that
of
don't know what
theaters.
FNAF means, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. Just want to clarify that in case there's viewers here that don't know what FNAF is.
Yeah, it's coming out the 27th, and me and Josh are going to be watching theaters when this comes out.
Yes, we talked
So,
about it briefly last episode. Because I said I remember his name now. Josh Hutchison is gonna be like the main guy, the main guy.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
expectations and stuff. I watched a game theory video in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and he was like, "Oh, I solved it," and like he did a bunch of these crazy predictions, and I was like, "I'm not sure I'm entirely on," but he said some like what's it called? I think one of the main things was okay, they're gonna take a completely different uh timeline, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about how a movie can be set in the world of something, right? Like it's gonna be in the world of Finest Freddy's, obviously,
Yeah.
but it might not be in the same universe, if that makes sense. Like,
We mean in the same
like for
universe, like
like,
the same universe
do
as
you,
the
you
Five
kind
Nights
of
at
do you know
Freddy's
what I mean?
game.
Kind of.
Like it wouldn't be in the same universe as the Five Nights at Freddy's game, or it wouldn't be in the same universe that we live we live and exist in today.
No, it wouldn't be in the same universe. It wouldn't be in the same universe as the game. Like it would still be Five Nights at Freddy's, just not
Oh,
the
just a different
actual
universe.
timeline.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. There's
So that's what he was saying.
I can think of a couple of
Because
movies like
the
that.
stuff he's seen already is that people like the Night Guard, right? There's also, he said, in the casting, someone named Vanessa, which is from the newer games. So like there's people
I need
from
to
the newer
pause you for a
games and
second.
people from the older games in one movie.
I need to pause you for a second because I forgot about my
Okay.
headphones. And I have no idea if me forgetting about my headphones means that my audio is going to be echoing for the first 2 minutes there. Saying
Stuff
how
that he
there's
was
some actors in other stuff and then new actors completely, and so it'll still be FNAF, but it might not be the same universe that follows the video games.
exactly.
Okay, so what you're saying basically is Josh Hutcherson might survive instead of die.
Exactly. Like that, because literally anything could happen the way he kind of interpreted it. Because there's a lot of different people from a lot of different places in the timeline at once.
Oh, okay. Okay. This
So I'll
is
link his video in the description.
okay, you do
But
that because
what's it
this is already confusing me. This is starting to be a whole X-Men timeline thing going on.
called? Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I still don't know if they have it in theaters yet. It says coming soon, but we still can't buy tickets for it yet.
Yeah,
So it's like,
I've been looking every day consistently just to see if this like if the tickets have gone on sale yet. Cuz I would prefer to have the tickets like in my email so that I know that I have
yeah.
tickets than to drive out to you and then find out that I don't have tickets. Cuz I that would get me wheel mad real quick.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine.
I hope so. I also just don't know how your theater works. I'm not sure how long it takes for them to pre-sell tickets. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And then around the day after we watch it, we'll be filming the episode on how we thought of it, and that'll be out next week. It
Next week, yeah. On the
should be.
I think on the it would have been November. I'm gonna look at my schedule actually. November 10th, just before Remembrance Day. Okay, hi, I'm back. I fixed my problems. To all the viewers who dealt with, well, I'm sure Aiden's gonna edit it out, but to all the viewers who dealt with my echoing for a while, I apologize. I don't like listening to echoes either. Okay, so prior to me just full on stopping my recording, Aiden asked me what's my expectations for FNAF, knowing full well that I'm not a FNAF nerd and I don't really know much about it. Um, I I just want to see. Okay, from what I remember of the games, and I say games as if I played them all. I haven't. I've played the first game. That's it. From what I remember of the games, though, the most that you learn about the children that were, killed, brutally murdered, um, it's just destroyed. The most that you hear about them is they is like from what you find in newspaper articles and stuff that's just on the wall in the game, like little Easter eggs on the game, and that's the most that you find about it, unless you've read the books like you have, or unless you've read a lot of extra content online and looked into like interviews and stuff with the creator. Otherwise, just from playing the games, you don't really know that much about the children. So I want to see flashbacks of the children in the movie. I expect flashbacks. And during the trailer, what little I said, and I haven't said this on the podcast before, I don't like watching trailers to movies because I feel that with trailers nowadays, they show too much of the movie. So I've made it a practice now to just avoid watching trailers if possible, especially when I know that I want to watch the
Yeah.
movie. And I knew that I wanted to watch this movie before the trailer came out. But from what little I've seen of the trailer, I think I've seen only about 5 or 10 seconds. You can hear little kids talking and laughing and stuff. And I don't know if they just added that in. Well, they probably did. They probably added it in as part of the creepiness factor, and because you hear it in the games a couple of times. But if those audio clips are from actual flashback scenes that we might get, that's awesome. Because I don't know, I just want to see
Yeah.
flashback scenes. Because when you think about it, like FNAF, the animatronics wouldn't be the way they are without the terrible tragedies of these kids.
Exactly.
So it's like as cool as Springtrap is, and like the purple guy. What little you've told me about the purple guy, I barely know what's happening with the purple guy. I just know that people talk about him a lot. As cool as they are and stuff, can we please acknowledge the victims? So I expect that. I also I have a fear that Matthew Lillard is not going to be as present in the movie as I think he would, because I feel like a lot of the movie is just going to be the animatronics and Josh Hutcherson. But if I can see Matthew Lillard for more than just the job interview and some phone calls, that'd be awesome because I love him as an actor. He's been great since Shaggy.
Yeah, that's um another thing too. I'm gonna have like an expectations list on like the side or the middle of myself here. Okay,
Yeah,
deaths. Okay, the film is PG-13, right? So I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do about that. I think I said that last episode, but what's it called? I want to see at least.
Wait, was it PJ-13? I thought it got changed to
I
14A.
don't think so.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It did get changed to PJ 13. Oh yeah, okay. Now I remember us talking about this earlier. It got changed to PG-13, and you were worried that it wasn't going to
Yeah.
be as like the deaths just weren't going to be as violent as they are in the games.
Wait,
This is making us sound like really violent people. We're
I
not.
know.
It's just this is how it was in the games. This is how it was in the book series, and this is what we want to
Exactly.
see.
Exactly. But yeah,
Yeah.
so deaths, um what's it called? Some yeah, like some reference to the children, if there is any. Well, they should be, I hope there is, because that's kind of the whole baseline of the game there. But, um
Yep.
and then maybe a view of Springtrap because that's depending on where it is in the timeline, right? Um, yeah, just Springtrap should appear.
Would you want to see the actual Springtrap animation of just him, his death, or do you just want to see Springtrap in
Just
general?
in general, just in general.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah,
I would also wouldn't mind seeing that.
I'm excited. Like really excited for this movie. Like I have been waiting for so long. Like it's gotten postponed. I
You've
think
been
for
waiting for like five
I know.
years.
Like I think they announced it in like 2019 or something crazy like that. Like it's just crazy.
20, so pre-pandemic.
Exactly.
You've been waiting for this since pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and then a bunch of stuff happened, and you were like, well,
Yeah.
guess we're gonna sit here waiting. Then there was the writers'
At that
strike,
point, I was
which is
just like,
still,
I don't think it's even gonna happen at that point. Like,
yeah. The writers' strike happened, and you were just like, well, I'm never gonna see this movie in my entire life.
because that's because
uh,
Scott said he was retiring like a long time ago, and then the FNAF movie was just like, bam, and then he was like, I'm directing it, and I was like, go you.
nice. Maybe I feel like someone came to him and proposed the movie idea, and basically, I don't know, maybe there's some negotiations happening, and they were trying to get other directors to do it since he's retired, and I feel like what happened in that situation is he was like, nope, I am absolutely not going to sign away my movie's rights, and you're not going to find another director for this. Nah, it's not happening. And then after that, it was kind of like a Wolverine and Deadpool situation where they camp outside his house and they slowly just annoy him to the point where he just agrees to be the director and to come out of retirement so that he can direct this movie. Because that's basically what happened between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, and no one's gonna be able to tell me otherwise.
It could be that.
I'm like, Ryan Reynolds went to Disney and was like, give him a bunch of money so he can come back as Wolverine. This is what's happening. They gave him a bunch of money so he can come and direct this movie that everyone's been asking for.
I feel like too though, like a lot of people that like personally know Scott or like a bunch of his team, I feel like they wouldn't want anyone else to direct it because they could mess a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff up.
loyalty.
Exactly. But what's it called? That's
Yeah, that's awesome actually. That if he had that much loyalty amongst his employees.
yeah. But I don't know. I don't know much about it. Um, Scott is directing, but he's also getting like a lot of help from Blumhouse, and they make a lot of horror movies, right? I don't know.
I love their
Yeah,
movies.
I don't know which horror movies do they make?
They make like they make okay, let me just get up a list here because I can't think of them off the top of my head. I just know that they make a lot and it's always really good. There's a movie called Black Phone. It stars Ethan Hawke. Uh, that was a really good one. And I don't know, I'll go talk about that later. I ended up reading the book. Um, well, it wasn't a book, it was a short story. I read the short story that the movie was based off. I read that. It was really good. But then they also, the Insidious movies, Blumhouse does that. Megan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you
I didn't
watch
see that,
Megan?
but what's it called? I think that's what they said. I think they're Megan's the producer. One people who make Megan are the producers of FNAF.
Oh, the people who made Megan produced
Yeah,
FNAF?
or yeah, the producers.
That's awesome. Good for them. It's oh god, I don't know. The thing about it, because it's all AI, right? It's this AI doll that befriends this little girl, and the thing about any AI movie ever is like the AI always goes bad. So it's so predictable. But it like I was surprised how much I enjoyed Megan because I went in there knowing full well what was gonna happen and how it was gonna end, but I still enjoyed every second of it. Like it was so stupid. It was such a stupid movie. But yeah, they did Black Phone, Insidious, Megan,
Oh
Halloween.
yeah.
I don't know if they did all the Halloween movies, but they did they probably did all the Halloween movies. Did the Halloween movies? That's really good. They have a lot of Stephen King adaptations, and Stephen King is at the moment one of my favorite horror book authors. But they did a lot of adaptations of his books. So they did Firestarter, they did Mr. Harrigan's Phone. I know they did a couple of his other ones. I just can't think of them right now. I'm looking at a list. I'm trying to see some of his other stuff. Um, but yeah, that's some of the more famous ones. They did the Purge movie, the Purge series, which is the dumbest series in existence, and no one's gonna argue with me about that because I forced myself to watch those movies because my sister wanted me to. I, I don't know why. I can't enjoy them. And then I watched the first Purge, which is basically a prequel to the Purge movies, and it shows like how the Purge came to be. Like it literally says like these are all these people who says we should do this for whatever stupid reason, and these are all their reasons for it. And when we do this, this is what's gonna happen. This is their expectations for what's gonna happen. Then they do it, and then like a bunch of stuff happens, and it's really stupid. And I don't want to say anything without ruining it because I do expect that you'll watch these movies someday. Um, Not my favorite series, but I know a lot of people love it. So Purge, Blumhouse does Purge. They did Halloween. They did Insidious. They did Happy Death Day. That was a really good one too. Do you remember Happy Death Day?
Oh, I think I've seen a bunch of trailers for it.
Girl basically wakes up and she keeps waking up on the same day, but sometime throughout that day she gets murdered. And it's always by like the same guy in the same mask, and she has to try and figure out a way to get out of the loop. It's a whole
So
thing.
she just keeps
That kind of hurt my head a
waking
bit.
up and then just dying.
Yeah, she keeps waking up on the exact same day, and then just getting killed.
Oh.
And then she has to like figure out why she keeps waking up on this day and why she keeps getting killed over and over again. And meanwhile, while this is happening and she's trying to figure all this stuff out, she's also like getting brutally murdered every day. So she's on edge because she doesn't know when or where this face guy is gonna come, because it's not the same death every single day. It's different every single time depending on where she is throughout the day.
Oh.
So she's like, she's trying to figure out how to get out of this weird loop that she's in while trying not to like get killed, and it's a stressful situation. She handled it pretty decently, all things considered, because I wouldn't be able to figure out how to get myself out of the loop while also knowing that any second someone's gonna come and murder me violently. But yeah, they have a lot of good movies. Those are some of the ones that I can think of, but not think of, that I am seeing on this list that I'm currently looking at, and I'm like, yeah, those are good movies. They also do Get Out. That was a good one. Super weird. They also did Split. That was a really, really good one. Did you watch Split? You should watch Split. Split is one of them movies where it's less of a like a gory, like gross death and killing and jump scares. It's less of that and more of like a psychological thriller thing.
Okay.
So I don't see why you wouldn't be allowed to watch it.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see what like I don't see why you wouldn't be allowed to watch it. It's not that bad in terms of just terrifying stuff. It's just more of like a weird psychological horror with a little dab of like they sprinkle on some Beauty and the Beast Stockholm Syndrome stuff.
Okay.
Which doesn't make sense unless you watch the first movie and its sequel, which is Glass.
Oh, that's
But yeah, they don't do those movies.
okay. Since we're on the topic of horror movies, though, I just remembered. My mom let me watch my first horror movie the other day.
Which one was it? Which one was
it wasn't okay. I don't think it was a very popular one. It was like a Netflix one. It was on. It's not Netflix original, but like you know what I mean. It's probably just it's called
on Netflix.
Brightburn. Have you ever seen it?
Is that the one with John? I don't know why I was about to say John. That's like the most widest white burn ever. No, is that the one with? Oh no, I'm thinking of a different one.
Okay, basically,
White burn.
it's like one of those what ifs. Basically,
I've seen the trailers for it. I've never. This is actually one that I haven't watched. What's it about?
okay, so it's a what if. It's kind of like a what if. So they find this baby come from outer space who is literally Superman, has laser eyes, can fly, does all that stuff, right? Okay, like, but
Okay.
they raise it like its own till it's about 10, and then when it's 10,
Okay.
he realizes, like, he has a moment of realization, and he's like, I've never bled in my entire life. And he like looks back on it and he's like he really thinks about it for a second. And then he realizes that
I'm
he can like
self-aware.
yeah, he like can throw stuff really far and he's like I'm not normal. And then he goes and asks his parents about the stuff and they just don't say anything because they want to keep it a secret. And then what's it called? He goes to school and he like beats up a few kids because he realizes he can do that. And then his parents are like, "Okay, well you gotta stop here." And then eventually he just becomes like a
That's awesome.
serial killer. Like
He just becomes a serial killer, just straight up.
at 10 years old, and he just
I'm
like
just gonna
takes
be a
over the
serial
world.
killer now
It
at
like
10 years old.
it's it gets pretty bad.
What? Okay, that reminds me of a TV show that my cousins told me about, called Dexter. Did you hear about it? Did you watch it at all?
No.
Okay. This TV series, I haven't watched it yet, but it's now on my to-do list because it sounds fascinating to me. Basically, this kid, his dad works on the police force. He's a detective on the police force, specifically homicide cases, so people who get murdered and stuff. Uh, and so he notices around 10 years old, I think it's around 10 years old, it may have been younger, but he notices around 10 years old that his son is showing all of the signs of a serial killer. And so what his dad does is he immediately starts training him. And he's like, this is how you murder someone, and this is how you get away with it. But after he teaches him that, he's like, this is how you choose your victims. And he basically taught him how to stalk people and realize, wow, this is a really bad person. Like this is a pedo. This guy killed this other dude. This guy is like, I don't know, doing something really bad in his business, and he's treating terrible people. I don't know. He taught him how to pick people. Okay, I'm back again. Lots of technical difficulties this episode. That's fine. I'll figure it out. Anyway, as I was saying before, my laptop just shut off for some reason. I'm not sure why. Um, so Dexter. So Dexter, his dad realized that he had all of the signs of a serial killer, taught him how to kill and get away with it. But then he also taught him how to basically stalk and choose his victims and made sure that he's going after the bad people and not like innocent good people. You know, he's not like a type of serial killer that will see a random woman walking along the street and think she's alone. It's nighttime. This is the perfect time to just pick her up. No, he actually goes through the process based on how his dad taught him to just go and stalk people, figure out what they do, figure out what bad things they're up to, and then decide, okay, this guy has killed like 6 different people. I'm gonna kill him so he can stop killing people. So, so it's a really weird show like that. And then on top of all that, when he grows up, he becomes a forensic analysis, I think is the proper term for it, for the police force that his dad used to work at. And his dad at this point, I think, is either dead or retired. I'm just telling you this based on what I remember my cousin telling me about it. And so then he becomes a forensic analysis for the security team. So he's out there killing people while also being a guy who evaluates crime scenes and tries to determine how someone was killed. I think that's what he does.
Huh.
I don't know. It was super weird. It kind of reminds me of that, though, basically, because the parents are like, hey, let's not do this. Let's do this instead. But in terms of Brightburn, it sounds like they just hid this super, super crazy secret from this kid all his life, and then when he inquired about it, they were like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, it gets.
Is that basically what they did in the movie? Because it sounds like it from
Yeah,
your
eventually they
explanation.
do admit it, but it's like way too late because at that point he's like already like messed up in the mind.
Does he just like he just craves that blood?
But
Okay, that's awkward. I gotta watch that now. That's awesome that you were allowed to watch that. I'm glad that you finally got to watch your first horror movie.
it wasn't that
If
bad
you're
and
allowed to
stuff
watch any
because
other horror movies,
what's it? Well, okay. The reason I was
yeah,
allowed to watch that one is because well, first of all, I watched it with my mom, but I can
yeah,
handle all the like gore and stuff, and that's basically all that that movie
yeah.
was. It's the stuff that's like a bit
Hmm.
like jumpy, you know? Like
Oh,
yeah.
the jump
And
scares. I hate the jump scares. I no, I hate the jump
and
scares.
like what's it called personally, I think my dad doesn't like the all the horror aspects of like dolls and children and stuff. The stuff that involves like stuff like that. And it's like
Yeah.
yeah, cuz like that just goes on like a way creepier aspect than I think someone who's older, I guess.
Screen protected. Um, I'm not sure why that aspect is like that. But yeah, I've known for a while now that your dad hates that specific type of stuff. Um, I'm not like I wouldn't say I'm the same way. It's definitely more creepier than some of the other um type of movies and stuff that they have out there. But like Cabin in the Woods, which I'll have to watch Brightburn. But if I watch Brightburn and it's not as bad as Cabin in the Woods, then I'm gonna be like argue for your ability to watch this show. Because Cabin in the Woods, it's like they're just in a cabin and then a bunch of people come and kill them, and then there's a big reveal at the end for why this is happening. Um, but no creepy children, no creepy dolls and stuff like that. Um, cause, so I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know what my taste in horror movies are and what I like and don't like. I do know for sure though that I don't care for jump scares either. If you can creep me out just from the atmosphere of what of a situation that a character is placed on, then you're doing a good job. And if you can creep me out from the storyline, then you're doing a good job,
Yeah.
you know? But if you have to throw a jump scare every 5 seconds, then you're just gonna piss me off. It's like I don't need this much jump scares in my life. Like I just give me a creepy atmosphere, I'm good. um, but that's awesome though. I'm still glad that you got to watch your first horror movie. And I have so much more to have you watch now that you're allowed to watch them.
Yeah. One step at a time. One step at a time. Then. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, you should watch it. We should talk about it next episode. Cause like
yeah.
that'll be right
I'll
after the
I'll t-
FNAF
I'll take
movie,
the time.
and we'll be fresh in our minds with a bunch of blood.
Yeah, we'll watch the FNAF movie. I'll watch Brightburn, where apparently this kid gets obsessed with blood. I don't know. Never watched it before. There's pop can. There's a Funko Pop of Brightburn. I saw it while I was looking up what Brightburn was. It's kind of cute looking. But yeah, I'll have to put that on my to watch list for sure
Yeah.
because I gotta do. I have so much movies that I gotta watch. Like when I mentioned Mr. Hagen's Phone, that's a Stephen King adaptation of one of his short stories. I haven't watched it yet, and I should because I really like it. Because the actor for Mr. Hagen's Phone, that kid, he's also Bill from It, which is one of the main children in It. So I don't know. I assume it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's pretty.
uh,
But
yeah.
yeah, that's time. We're at 33 minutes. I'm not sure if you can tell that because you stopped your recording a bunch of times.
No, I had to stop recording like 3 different times. It's stupid though because I had my camera open and I tested my audio and everything and it was good to go. There was just so many things that I forgot prior to it, such as power in my laptop and then my headphones so that you don't echo when I'm talking to you. This is just not a good episode. That's fine. Next episode is going to be better. It's going to be perfection. We probably won't have these next episode. I wanted to play with helium. For those of you wondering why I have a balloon, I went to an event this past week with my buddy, and they had a costume contest. And my friend that I went with, their mom has what do you call that? Has a yellow raincoat. And in case anyone hasn't figured it out by yet, even though I've mentioned it like a million times this episode, I like Stephen King. I like his work. Watching Stephen King the remake for 2017, that's actually what made me stop watching horror movies. I got into it very late. I didn't get into it at Aiden's age. I got into it super late. I was like in my early 20s by the time I started watching horror movies. But yeah, so their mom has a yellow raincoat, and I decided I want to dress up as Georgie. Because all I gotta do is put on a raincoat and green rubber boots, and then I'm good to go. And so that's what I did. And then on top of that, I also bought balloons. And my buddy, they dressed up as Pennywise. This balloon is starting to piss.
Just.
But yeah, my buddy dressed up as Pennywise, and so we ended up going and we entered the best duo costume contest, and we won.
Nice.
We won as Pennywise and Georgie, which was really dope, and I was really excited about that. And this is what these balloons are from. I still have 3 of them. They're just off somewhere else in my room. And then my buddy, I left 4 of them with them. Yeah. But yeah, that night after the event, we were supposed to play with helium together, and then we were both too exhausted, so we just didn't. We also filmed a bunch of TikToks. No, I wouldn't. Okay, no, I wouldn't say a bunch. My buddy who was being Pennywise, they filmed a bunch of TikToks because they're a cosplayer, and they go on TikTok all the time and cosplay and stuff. I'm just gonna wave my hand here, and Aiden is gonna put all of their TikTok information here if you want to go watch it. They filmed a bunch of TikToks, and then they were like, can you please film like 2 different episodes with me as you, me, and Georgie? And I was like, absolutely, let's do this. I'm not good with film. I only filmed the two videos, and then I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna happen. I don't know when they're gonna edit those videos, but when they do, I'll put it in the video description. I'll put links to it in the video description if you want to see me dressed up as Georgie, which is really just me as I am, but with a raincoat on. Holding a boat. Anyway, I've been wanting to do this since I got these balloons on Wednesday, and we're gonna see how it goes.
You have to make sure you inhale it.
I accidentally blew it into my face. Right. So this is my voice now. That's not my voice now. I unintentionally made it deeper. Just pulling a Chris Pratt trying to imitate Chris Hemsworth. Anyway. And this is my voice now. Did it work?
I don't know.
Did it work?
A little bit, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna try and do this again. What should I say? Oh, let me try to say you'll float too. Okay, this is me saying you'll float too, and then let me see if I can get the helium out. This... I'm gonna stop doing that, sorry. Did it work now? I can't hear myself. It worked? So. Aiden started laughing, so I'm assuming it worked. I don't want to run out of helium. To be fair, these were also blown up 2 days ago, so it might be losing its power, because they're starting to... The other ones are starting to fall on the ground a little bit. I keep inhaling it, but I can't tell if it's doing anything. I'll see you guys next week. No, it's not working. I don't know what's wrong with me. that was our discussions this week. I'll see you guys again next week. With or without helium. We're not gonna have helium next week. This cost me too much. I'm not gonna go buy more. Um, yeah. See you guys next week.